TEP production. Giving out instruction. I just keep it intact, this is a fact, right and exact, I won't step back. Admiration is the feeling that inspires your brain to make you gain self-knowledge, not go insane. I'm Satan's antagonist, acknowledge what I speak. I cannot be duplicated cause I'm born unique. Brother Kareem told me if I want it, I gotta take it. Kareem told me if we need it, we gotta make it. Nasir just said stand up and be a man. You're planning to fail if you fail to plan. Keep your circle tight, know your plight, fight with all your might. Study hard, stay in shape and everything will be alright.
This beat is slapping before I make it happen. I just wanna ask, may I rise higher with fire, made brighter than May, sharp lines, may climb and rhyme and may timing like sirens, may my thoughts may spray as I sway, may play with the day, may each bar may spark from the dark, may making the arc, may I shift, may gifted with riffs, may lifted no myth, may move clean, smooth in between, may carving out the scene, may words guide my glide as the tide, may ride on the inside, may minds free, may deep in the key, may shape in the sea, may I shine, may prime in my rhyme, may throw in the sign, may break norms, may storms in the red form, may lightning is born.
Let's go.
I don't know how I got here. I just know I'm never going back. Just when I thought things were already crazy, it gets worse.
I'm back.
Quan?
Sapphire struggles to deal with her husband's alleged betrayal and coming to terms with Quan being alive after thinking he was deceased. Devontae tries to keep a level head while dealing with family issues and unexpected disloyalty. Memories of Dre enters Devontae's life in a way that he would have never imagined.
Fire Part 2, the finale. Get your copy of Fire. It's definitely a must-read. If you enjoy hood books, this one is it. Just like the title of the book, it's officially Fire. Get it on Amazon, paperback or Kindle.
Peace. This is The Enemy's Public. And I am Bro.Nasir. I hope everyone's enjoying the evening. We're going to get into The verdict of the Carmelo Anthony case. The Carmelo Anthony murder case spans from the fatal stabbing of Austin Metcalf on April 2nd, 2025, to the start of Anthony's trial, June 1st, 2026. The key events are April 2nd, 2025, stabbing at Frisco track meet. During a district track meet at Kaikendall Stadium in Frisco, Texas, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, a student at Centennial High School, after a confrontation, a aggressive confrontation, fatally stabbed 17-year-old Austin Metcalf on Memorial High School following an altercation during a team event. After an altercation under a team tent, witnesses reported that Metcalf told Anthony to leave, and after a brief confrontation, Anthony pulled a knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest. They left a whole lot of this out in the mainstream media. See how they're painting the picture is like Austin Metcalf came over politely and said, "Can you please leave from under our tent," and all this other nonsense. And then all of a sudden, the brother immediately pulled out a knife and said, "Touch me and see what happened." Nobody says touch me and see what happened minus a threat. That's why I keep stressing. Now, witnesses told and reported that Metcalf told Anthony to leave, and after a brief confrontation, Anthony pulled a knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest. Metcalf was taken to a hospital but died from his injuries. Anthony was arrested at the scene and claimed self-defense. Now, the Metcalf family, the parents raised their boys inappropriately, because why would he think that he had the authority to tell someone that they had to leave from under a fence? And you know what kind of person you have to be that when it starts raining and everybody's sheltering in place, which is why they were under the tent in the first place. If you tell somebody they can't shelter in place in inclement weather, what kind of person are you that you would tell somebody they can't shelter in place? What kind of person are you that would actually say something like that? Now, April 4th, 2025, police reports and self-defense claim. Frisco police released a report detailing the incident. Anthony admitted to stabbing Metcalf, stating that it was self-defense. Witnesses described a back and forth confrontation with Metcalf allegedly touching or grabbing Anthony before the stabbing occurred. You can't just go around touching people, especially when they told you not to touch them, especially in an aggressive, violent manner. Now, April 12th, 2025, Austin Metcalf was laid to rest. In April 14th, 2025, there was a bond hearing and release because Anthony was arrested for this stabbing and charged with murder. Anthony's bond was initially set at $1 million, but reduced to $250. He was released from jail under house arrest with an ankle monitor and strict conditions, including being accompanied by an adult when leaving home. And also, the judge that reduced his bail was receiving death threats. April 17th to the 27th of 2025, public statements and harassment. Anthony's family publicly addressed harassment and false accusations, while the Metcalf family experienced swatting incidents. Extremist groups staged protests, and both families faced online threats and doxing. Now, May 13th to the 14th, 2025, graduation and public attention. Anthony was allowed to receive his high school diploma, but did not participate in the graduation ceremony. Social media and public debate intensified around the case. June 11th, 2025, the surveillance video was released. Frisco ISD allowed limited media access to surveillance footage of the stabbing, showing the altercation under the tent, but with individual not easily identifiable. June 24th, 2025, the Cullen County Grand Jury indicted Anthony on a first-degree murder charge carrying a potential sentence of 5 to 99 years or life in prison. Anthony's attorney emphasized the self-defense claim. June 9th, 2025, a trial date was set. Cullen District Judge John Roach scheduled the trial to begin June 1st, 2026. Now, April 18th to the 21st of 2026, pre-trial court orders. Judge Roach issued strict rules for media and public access, banning live streaming, audio, video recording, and cell phones in the courtrooms. Now, that part right there is a violation of constitutionally protected activities. Now, the judge, I can understand having order in your courtroom, but for a judge to deny people access, banning of live streaming, audio, video recording, and cell phones in the courtroom. The attendees were prohibited from disruptive behavior, of course, and protests were restricted to designated areas. Now, judges should not have the power to deny media to enter the courtroom, whether they're mainstream media or social media. All media should have been allowed in the courtroom. I can understand if the courtroom gets crowded and you have limited space, it will be on a first come, first serve basis. And whoever gets there, once the courtroom meets its capacity, no one else can enter the courtroom. I can understand that. But to limit it, to not, he didn't limit social media or cell phones in the courtroom, video, audio. He prohibited. And that's not right for a judge to say no media in the courtroom. Donald Trump, he lost a battle in court because he tried to kick media out of the White House. And the judge said that's unconstitutional because, for one, everybody who enters that courtroom is a taxpayer. And the judge is supposed to be a public servant. And he shouldn't have the power to prohibit cell phones, audio, video recording, or any type of media from entering a courtroom for whatever reason he had. Now, if somebody come in the court behaving disruptive, then you could either kick them out or hold them in contempt. But to prohibit people from coming into the courtroom, that's a violation of constitutionally protected activities. Now, June 1st, 2026, the trial began. Jury selection commenced in the Collin County 296th District Court. Security was heightened due to public interest, social media attention, and prior threats. The trial was this was the past, was expected to last approximately 2 weeks, but it didn't even last a week. Didn't last a week. The trial was supposed to last 2 weeks. Didn't even last a week, with both prosecution and defense preparing to present evidence and arguments regarding the stabbing and Anthony's self-defense claim. The defense moved through that real fast. They didn't call enough witnesses, and I just think they did a hack up job. I think the brother was railroaded. I don't like what happened to the young brother Karmelo Anthony. I don't like what happened to him. I don't like how it was done. That was messed up how this whole thing turned out. Now, again, the trial was expected to last approximately 2 weeks, with both prosecution and defense preparing to present evidence and arguments regarding the stabbing of Anthony's self-defense claim. This timeline captures the major developments in the Karmelo Anthony case from the initial incident to the start of the trial, highlighting legal proceedings, public reactions, and security measures surrounding the case. Now, again, the prosecution, they presented for a few days and then they rested. The defense, they ran through with the defense. I'm not understanding that. And here we are. The young brother, Karmelo Anthony, was found guilty of murder. And with all the evidence that showed that it was self-defense, despite all that, the brother still was found guilty of murder. Now, I don't know what his sentence is just yet. While we're going through our video presentation, I could be looking and see what they did. I don't know how long he's going to serve. They had an all-white jury, and I don't understand why it wasn't no pushback from that jury when they found that it was an all-white jury of Austin Metcalf's parents' peers. It should have been some pushback. I understand, Karmelo he's still a teen. But when you look at a jury and a jury looked like that jury looked, you can basically predict what the outcome's going to be, especially with the racial components. You can predict what the outcome is going to be. When I heard it was an all-white jury, I knew the fix was in. The fix was in because Karmelo Anthony, he did that to a white boy, even though it was self-defense. They don't care nothing about the truth. The truth is that it was self-defense, and the truth is not going to be the cause. It's not going to make certain people do the right thing because everybody don't care about the truth. So just because the truth is presented to evil people who don't care about the truth, that doesn't mean you're going to get an outcome based on the truth, because everybody don't care about that. Because they know damn well if the roles were reversed, all these white folks would be talking about Austin Metcalf stood his ground and he acted in self-defense. But I'm going to say this. I would rather see that brother, you're not free, of course, but I'm glad he's alive. I'm glad he's alive. Because the outcome that we got last week from a 57-year-old man at his time, now he has to be about 60, because 57 years, 3 years ago, that's my age. Picture me chasing down a 14-year-old over 130 yards, a 14-year-old at my age, even at my age 3 years ago. Picture me chasing a 14-year-old, running behind him over a damn bottle of water, and then shooting him in the back. I wouldn't have even chased him. But people are so hateful towards our people that they look at our children and they look at us, and we're not even worth a bottle of water. Our sister Latasha Harlins back in 1992 wasn't even worth a bottle of orange juice, shot in her head by the same ethnicity and lost her life, and the woman got probation. When you allow people to do those type of things and they get away with it, that sets a precedent, and that sends a strong message. And that message is our lives are worth nothing, and people could kill us and get away with it. People can kill our children, shoot our children. People can kill our elderly. They can attack our women at gunpoint, punch them in the face repeatedly, and nothing happened. People can go inside our homes when they shouldn't be in our homes and shoot us as we take a pot of water off the stove. They just shoot us with no problem. And the United States say it's okay. They say it's okay for these people to do this to us. But stand your ground is not something that somebody could say is okay for us to do. That decision is on us. I don't care what state I'm in. I'm going to stand my ground. I don't care if I'm in New Jersey. I don't care if I'm in Pennsylvania. I don't care if I'm in Michigan. That's up to me. I don't care what the laws are. If I feel my life is being threatened, I'm going to handle that. That's not for nobody else to handle. It's not for no legislative branch to handle. No municipal, no local, state, or federal. It's not for them to handle, and that's not their decision. Whether I defend myself and the people I love, that's not up to them. That's up to me totally. So I don't care what the laws are. If I feel anybody around me is in danger, that's going to get handled ASAP. But we're going to get into our video footage. Share my screen. And we're going to go to the verdict. And the aftermath of the verdict. Again, the young brother Karmelo Anthony was found guilty of murder as an innocent young brother.
The crowd outside has just heard that verdict, and we are seeing just a tremendous emotional reaction from some of the people in the crowd. Again, it was probably about 30 seconds to 60 seconds after we announced it on the air that people started getting the alerts on their phone. You could see everybody starting to look down at their phone and getting those updates and finding out that Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty of murder. We just got word from inside the courtroom that they are proceeding to the punishment phase. And Jobin Puneker, our reporter in the courtroom, says that he saw Karmelo Anthony's mother audibly sobbing in the courtroom after that verdict was read. Again, you can see some of the reaction here from outside the courtroom. We're going to keep an eye on that. But Rebecca, Tanya, I apologize for interrupting you, but I would like to bring you in for just to touch on the emotional toll that this has taken on two families.
Well, Chris, there have been people here that I have seen every single day since I got here during jury selection. Many of them fought to get into that courtroom so they could see some of the proceedings. And there were people on both sides trying to get those seats, all very emotional. But some people have been here every single day, and so many people on both sides. Austin Metcalf's family and friends wanted justice for him. They felt like he died in a senseless, very horrific way. Then there are the people on Carmelo's Anthony camp who felt like the system was rigged against him because there were 3 African-American jurors that identified themselves as African-American jurors that were kicked off this jury, that were not picked. I wouldn't say kicked off, but they were not selected as jurors or they did not make the cut. And so people felt that the justice system was just not going to work for Karmelo Anthony. So
there should have been some pushback. There's no way it should have been an all-white jury. There's no way. And giving that, he should have an immediate appeal given that and based on that, because I don't think he got a fair trial. And I don't think an all-white jury would be fair to us. I don't think that'll happen. An all-white jury will be fair to one of us. I don't.
I suspect that that's some of the emotion that you are seeing here right now in the display.
And Rebecca, you were in that courtroom, regardless of. Talk to a little bit about the racial makeup of this jury.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people saying that there were no minorities or that it was an all-white jury. That was not the case. There were Asian Americans. There were a lot of women. There was also a Muslim woman, a woman that also.
An Asian juror. Okay, that don't mean nothing. Said a Muslim. Okay, she said she was Muslim, but that doesn't mean that she's not a racist ass Arab. Asian, and they using that minority, people of color nonsense, that don't work with us no more, because we have found that that's a facade, and the only people who honored that people of color minority foolishness was us. But we're past that, and we're not into that no more. There's no alliance. We're not aligning ourselves with nobody, and we're not allowing people to align themselves with us, because they're doing it to tether and to be a buffer class, and that's done. That is done.
Also, I would say probably 4 Asian Americans, and we don't know because the jury questionnaires are not public record. That was to protect the jury. The judge spent a lot of time trying to protect this jury because there have been threats against people in this case on both sides, and the judge wanted to make sure that the jury was protected, and so a lot of their information was never made public. And we could hear the crowd getting louder and louder, and I'm not sure what this is about, but there have been people out here calling for peace, to tell everybody to please stay calm. But it is a very, very emotional time for people out here.
It is, and I think that, we can see behind us that this crowd is pretty heated. And I was, Rebecca, on the other side of me, I watched as a number of additional Collin County Sheriff's deputies walked up. You obviously can seeing some people being pushed out. I don't know exactly what's going on, but now
Yeah,
the
it seems to
crowd
be a
is
woman
starting
with a
to
baby that is
come
being
a little bit
told to
towards us.
leave. And again, you've had people out here that are not here because, Chris, they truly wanted to see any of this stuff. They've never made it into the courtroom. They never even tried to get into the courtroom.
And there's people out there being agitators also, trying to provoke people. I just say, don't allow them to provoke you, and bait you into doing something that you may regret. Not saying by no stretch of imagination to be a pushover, but some people are out there being agent provocateurs. Just be aware of the agent provocateurs that's out there trying to bait somebody into a conflict. People can say what they want because of freedom of speech, but as long as they don't violate your space, if they get close enough for you to put your hands on them, they're too close. Period. You can say that over there all you want.
They were here for their own political purposes or whatever. And that is what you're seeing. And now you're seeing people screaming at one another. And the sheriff's department, I will say, the Collin County Sheriff's Department has done a very good job of dispersing these crowds. There were a couple of times when they were having clashes, and they immediately got in the middle of them and stopped some of the confrontations. They're going to let them have their free speech. They're going to let them, do what they are going to do, but they are not going to let people.
You don't let nobody have something that's free. You don't let them have their free speech. That's ordained, and that's not up to them whether they have their free speech. And now we're going to go to Fox News, where things are unfair and unbalanced.
Look at the immediacy, the need, the necessity of the action.
Jonathan, I'm going to jump in. We do have a verdict in this case, and I am hearing that it is a guilty verdict, guilty of murder in this case of Karmelo Anthony. Brooke is moving to the camera right now as we wait for the official word. We expect that this means that they will come out and make a statement at some point. Immediately, Jonathan, as we wait, what would be happening in this courtroom right now? The verdict has been read. I would imagine that he will be escorted to chambers and then back to jail. He has not been in jail during this process, I should point out. Jonathan.
The most difficult thing to watch is when they escort, particularly a young defendant, directly to jail after a decision of the court. No matter how well you prepare the family, it is a devastating moment, and it's devastating for everyone, even people who think that the person should go to jail. The family is never prepared for seeing their son or daughter taken to a side door by marshals. And it is a really tough thing to watch.
By all accounts, this is a young man who had no prior convictions, no prior arrests. He apparently had a very good grade point average, 3.7 in his high school, obviously.
Didn't even consider that, I gather, that the young man is a athlete scholar whose parents were doing what they're supposed to do in raising him. Everybody say, well, you shouldn't bring a knife to school, and he didn't bring a knife to school. It was a school event. He was on school grounds, okay, but it was a school event. And he didn't go to the school looking for trouble. All Austin Metcalf had to do was mind his business and don't worry about what other people are doing and where other people are at. And we wouldn't even be here today in this situation. He and his brother and his people around him caused all this, and a young brother's life is ruined. An athlete scholar from parents who were doing what they supposed to do, parents raising him together. They're still together. But the Metcalf family is split up, dysfunctional. Father's here, mother's there. Father used to beat the mother and all this other nonsense from what the news said, from what sources said. These boys on camera with guns, brandishing guns. You didn't see Karmelo brandishing no gun, but these dudes is on with hit Austin and Hunter. People naming their children Hunter. Hunter. Name your child Hunter. Lets you know what you got planned for your son if you're gonna name him Hunter. They're seen in photos with guns, long guns. And they tried to dirty up, they dirty up the Anthony family, and they shined up the Metcalf family. That lets you know just how evil and wicked the media is. They're wicked and evil, and how they presented this case and how they tried it in public opinion, how they worded it as if Austin walked up to Karmelo Anthony and politely asked him to move from under the tent. And Karmelo just spazzed out and pulled something out and stabbed him. That's how they made it seem how it happened. And it didn't happen like that. It didn't happen like that.
Slay dreams for the future. His family had dreams for the future for him. And now a jury has convicted this Texas teenager, Karmelo Anthony, in the fatal stabbing of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. This case obviously has drawn national attention.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
We're going to go to people protesting in the aftermath of the Karmelo Anthony verdict.
Verdict here, guilty of murder. Connell.
Stand by, Rich. Reaction now in the crowd. Xavier Walton is with us. I saw us right away when we learned of the verdict. We had the video up during commercial. I saw some crying. I hear some screaming. Tell us what it's like.
Yeah, Connell. So immediately once that verdict was read, a woman fell to her knees, overwhelmed with emotion. She began to cry. And, I'm going to walk over here. Austin, watch your step. Come on, Austin, come this way. And one thing I've heard multiple times since that verdict was read, these folks saying that's what you get when you have an all-white jury. Obviously, that's been talked about a lot. We know there was not a single black person being represented in that jury. So it looks like two gentlemen are yelling back and forth right now. There are children here. Notice the gentleman in the cowboy hat. Law enforcement is here. But Connell, so much emotion, boiling. It is hot. Tensions obviously flaring up. And you see the crowd of cameras. You see the people walking that way, Connell. I can tell you there's a whole group of people that once that verdict was read, you can just see in their faces like they had been defeated. That was the look of defeat. That's what they had on their face. As we just kind of walk with this crowd, I can tell you I've been here since jury selection. And there have been several Karmelo Anthony supporters that have been here since jury selection. And
he act like jury selection was a long time ago. That was just last week. So they went through this. They did this like Indianapolis 500. That's how fast they went through this trial. A trial of this magnitude should have took a lot longer. I don't understand what the hell the defense did. I really don't.
And once that jury was selected, this is what they were worried about. Being found guilty of murder, not manslaughter in this case, but murder. So as we kind of follow the crowd, something else to really point out, Connell, law enforcement, they are everywhere. I also asked one of these parents here that is with their children, with their child, I said, why bring a child here? And she told her son here, so that way he would know what it's like to advocate for your community. Get out of the road, man. You're going to jail. Out of the road, man. So Connell,
now who's this out here threatening people? That's the only thing that law enforcement know to do. They don't know how to say, please get out the roadway. I don't want you to get hit by a car, or you need to get out the roadway. Automatically go to threaten to lock somebody up. These are beasts. Straight up beast.
enough. You asked the question, what was it going to be like when the verdict was read? And here's the answer. You see, obviously, the animosity, and rightfully so. Connell, notice law enforcement right here. That is from the beginning. We've said that. But yes, Connell, I'll send it back to you. You can take our live images. But I can tell you right now, law enforcement does have control of this. Dozens of people just heard the verdict. But obviously, for days now, this is what they've been waiting for. And it's for a lot of people here, I can tell you that. It's not the verdict they wanted to hear, but also keep in mind a family, the Metcalf family did lose someone. They lost a loved one, and that's what they've been saying too, because there have been Metcalf family supporters out here as well. I'll be completely honest, Connell, from day one when they had that jury, it was an alarm bell that went off for a certain community that said, no black jurors, we already know what's going to happen.
Exactly. I knew the fix was in when I found out none of us was on a jury, and they wouldn't even allow any of us to be on the jury. Of course, they're not going to have someone on the jury that will be sympathetic to Karmelo Anthony. The sisters that they rejected as jurors more than likely would have been sympathetic to Karmelo Anthony. They want somebody who's going to be in total opposition to that young brother, and I don't understand that there was no pushback for that. No pushback.
Guilty.
Now, I'm going to go to the next video. One thing I can't stand is a contrarian as Negro or contrarian Negroes altogether. We're going one way and they're going the other way. I can't stand Negroes like that who like to always be off code and never side with our people and want to be right in the eyes of our open and consistent enemy. I can't stand those type of people, and we have to rid ourselves of these type of Negroes. We can't allow these Negroes around us. I can't stand a coon as Negro who always side with the others and never side with our people. Now, these young Negroes call themselves the Cartier family. They didn't root for this brother at all. At all. And all Negroes like the Cartier family, the Hodge twins, Brandon Tatum, Jason Whitlock, I hope they all get
prosecutors continue laying out.
I hope they all get their wake-up call. And I hope their wake-up call is very, very painful.
Their case against Karmelo Anthony. He is the teen accused of killing another teen at a Frisco ISD track meet last year. Anthony's attorney claims it was self-defense. Trevor Sahaki is live outside the courthouse for us this morning. And Trevor, who has the jury heard from this morning?
Well, Karen, so far we've heard from first responders as well as law enforcement officers who responded to the stadium for the stabbing. This has included a Frisco firefighter as well as several Frisco police officers. We also got to see body camera footage of Anthony's arrest. Now, that firefighter, he described in some graphic detail the state of Austin Metcalf's body after the stabbing. Metcalf's father put his head in his lap, and his mother wiped away tears at that point in the trial. Now, this case revolves around a confrontation between Anthony and Metcalf at a Frisco ISD track meet last April. Authorities say Anthony stabbed Metcalf, but Anthony says it was self-defense. After the firefighter testified, the officer who arrested Anthony took the stand. He described handcuffing Anthony as the body cam footage played. According to Officer Eduardo Cortez, Anthony told him, quote, "I'm not alleged, I did it," and quote, "He put his hands on me. I told him not to." On cross-examination, the defense did confirm Anthony surrendered peacefully and complied with the officers. The defense also pointed out the no weapons rule is not a criminal offense, just a policy of Frisco ISD. Defense attorney Mike Howard asked Officer Eduardo Cortez about Anthony crying after the stabbing. Cortez said in response, quote, "Did I see tears coming down his face? I can't testify to that because I didn't see his face. My description was based on the tone of his voice." We're now hearing from another police officer right now. This is the officer that found the knife that prosecutor.
I just want y'all to listen to what these Negroes have to say about this situation. Just listen to their logic and the lack of thereof.
Prosecutors believe was used in the stabbing.
Okay, y'all all know how we feel about this situation. Karmelo is wrong. We don't got to get into it and go on to a crazy rant about it. Let's just read with some of the witnesses, some of the kids that were under this tent, what they.
Just because these kids were witnesses, witness don't mean that you've seen anything. Witnesses only mean that you was brought to court and they asked you questions and you answered them. And sometimes if you are going on the prosecutor's side, you are going to say things that's incriminating. And if you're on the defense side, you're going to say things that will help the defense. So don't act like a witness means that they seen something, because there was a young man that testified who claimed that he didn't know Karmelo, but he's all in pictures with Karmelo. So these dudes' logic, just listen to these fools.
They said.
So the 17-year-old Frisco Memorial High School student athlete and friend of Austin.
They're actually reading off CBS News. And when you see BS, you're supposed to believe BS? When you see BS, it's BS. Why would you believe BS? Because all you see on CBS is some damn BS.
Austin Metcalf testified that he saw Metcalf and his brother Hunter warming up on the day of the stabbing. He said he did not previously know Karmelo Anthony. He said he saw him walk up, dap up Eddie. Said it got heated up from there. Says Austin told him he can't be under the tent. And then he's heard Anthony say, "Touch me and see what happens."
Now, what made Austin think that he can tell, a 17-year-old can tell another 17-year-old where he can and cannot be? And the only reason why the young brother was under the tent is because it started raining. You're going to tell somebody they can't shelter in place when it starts raining. What kind of person does that?
So Anthony had his hand in his backpack. Said the vein in his arm was visible. Anthony told Metcalf not to touch him. Austin touched him on the shoulder, and Anthony stabbed him. Damn.
Let's stop right there.
That's not how that happened. See, they believe this because this is their forte, which is why they have 1.7 million subscribers. They're in this Hodge Twins, Brandon Tatum type of thing. They do this type of thing. They used to do music, then they started doing this shit, and their channel blew up because the thing to do today, if you want a lot of subscribers, is to go totally contrary to your people and never side with your people. That gets you a lot of subscribers. Being a total, and that's called being a sellout by definition and by action. That's a sellout. And that's what these Negroes are, total sellouts.
Okay, that's one witness.
Says another witness said she heard Anthony say, "If you wanted me to move, you have to move me."
Witness number 2.
Wait. Go back up a little bit. Read it.
So you're going to tell me in 2026, these guys got to be in their 20s, so they don't know a goddamn thing. They don't know shit, but they will. I'm very hopeful that they do learn. I'm hopeful that they learn, and I'm hopeful that they learn harshly, being that they don't believe that white people are capable of lying. I hope they learn a very harsh, and I hope it's swift lesson, because they don't believe that white people will lie on a witness stand. They need to go do some history on how white people lied on a witness stand. Go back to George Stinney. Go back to all the cases where brothers are exonerated later, sisters are exonerated later because they was railroaded by the criminal justice system, and the criminal is the one who got the damn justice.
A little bit. She said Austin Metcalf didn't seem to want to fight.
Wow.
But I thought they jumped. They was jumping on him and his brother. They 6'5", big foot.
Listen to this damn Damian Wayans looking ass Negro.
Ball player that was coming to jump him.
He didn't do nothing wrong.
Here's another witness.
This is another 17-year-old Frisco.
Straight up, this is mocking our people using negative buffoonery or buffoonish stereotypes against their own people. I guess these fools don't have mirrors in their house. And I like to check their damn ethnicity to see if they're even one of us in the first place.
Memorial High School student who plays football and competes in track said his mother and sister were at the meet. His sister's on a track team. Said that when he arrived in the team tent, he was put on his shorts and he saw Austin and Karmelo. Austin asked him, who are you? Because no one knows who you are. He was trying to provoke Austin to touch him. He said Karmelo Anthony was like, touch me and see what happens. Austin told him, I'm not going to fight you at a track.
That's not true. Karmelo was with a young man that pretended to not be his friend, but Karmelo was dating his damn cousin, so he knew what why Karmelo was there. That makes no sense. Nobody says touch me and see what happened absent a threat. Nobody does that. Nobody just go around and says touch me and see what happened, and nobody never threatened to touch them or threatened to put their hands on them. That makes no sense. That he touched him on his shoulder and said he didn't want to fight. These dudes are idiots.
Track me. That's exactly his words.
Wow.
Metcalf touched his shoulder and he stabbed him. In what way is this self-defense?
I'm not going to fight you at a track meet. This nigga is going to jail for all.
He said that Austin Metcalf said to Karmelo Anthony, I'm not going to fight you at a track meet. And these fools believe it. These numbskulls believe it.
A long time.
At what point can you say that Karmelo Anthony? I didn't even need to see these witness accounts. Once you told me he was in their team tent, he's in the wrong.
He said he don't need to see his witness accounts. He don't need to see nothing or hear nothing besides what the white folks said, and it's a done deal with him. In the words of Adolph Caesar, the great actor, who's now an ancestor, Adolph Caesar, the black race can't afford you no more. Nobody like y'all. We can't afford these Negroes.
Point blank, period. Someone tell you to leave the team tent. You don't do it. You're in the wrong. Look, it says.
So this dude right here is used to being told what to do, and he'll do it. If he's walking through a town and a white boy tell him, you don't need to be on this side of the street, go on that side of the street, he'll cross over with no problem. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he'll cross right over. He's used to being told what to do as a man, or the lack thereof.
Teammate says stabbing was not self-defense. He walked up and stood in our tent. The witness immediately questioned why someone from another school would be there, saying it's kind of weird when other schools come and stand under our tent. What did we say from day one? You don't go in another team's tent. The witness say Austin asked him multiple times to leave our tent. He proceeded to not to. He did state multiple times that he had something in his bag. Witnesses say Metcalf grew visibly irritated, explaining that Austin seemed frustrated and just wanted him out of there. And everything escalated in an instant. In what way does this sound innocent, guys? Does it sound like self-defense to you?
We knew this already.
You can stab me now.
It sounds like multi-ethnic destruction in America. That's the media. And it sounds like news. That's what it sounds like. News. CBS News. You CBS, never-ending white supremacy. That's the acronym for news, and these Negroes don't even realize it. They're using a source from CBS.
Now, Brock,
We knew this already, man.
You can stab me now, Salo.
Guys, we can go on and on with the witnesses. They all say the same thing.
This is what they said from the very beginning. All these stories. This is fucking crazy.
Now, I'm going to tell y'all what people are going to say. They're going to say these witnesses are lying. These are kids. What do they got a lie for? This is what the black community.
White people, not all of them, but enough to say white people will lie. And I know the Negro, not the brother or sister, the Negro think everything that comes out of a white person's mouth is the truth. And Negroes like this, we cannot afford. When they come around us, we need to shun them. We need to send them on their way because they're dangerous to be around us, because they look at themselves and they hate themselves and they don't see no divinity, they don't see no truth or no value in their own damn people. So if white folks said it, it has to be the truth in their stupid ass sentiment.
He has to say, guys.
Don't say the black community.
Nah,
this is not the black community. This is not all the black community. Because what
when
this
it's
is
80%, we gotta say it's the black
this is
community.
not 80%. It's not, it's like 20 people out there.
80%
of black people? That's what you saying?
Look at this idiot right here, the one to the far left. He's a straight up idiot, self-hating idiot. Probably dating white girls.
Man, look.
You know, you boosting.
Every single person I talk to. Maybe I talk to the wrong set of
Black people though.
But every black person I talk to, they say
I
this
can't
is
say.
What's wrong with being the same way, fighting the same way our enemy fight with us? What's wrong with that? I find absolutely nothing wrong with us fighting the way our enemy fight with us, meaning to support and back our people regardless, like everybody else do. When Peter Liang murdered Akai Gurley, Peter Liang was a cop in New York who shot into a stairwell and shot a brother, Akai Gurley, and killed him. He was an Asian cop. Asian people came out in support of that cop and didn't even care that he murdered somebody, shooting indiscriminately into a stairwell. Asian people, not all of them, but they are supporting, they coming out in droves, daring us to boycott them because we're going to boycott them because they didn't come out in support of us when Rick Chow shot the 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack Belton in the back. What's wrong with us backing our people regardless? If you don't have a PDF file, you don't have an SA file, you don't have a file that abuse women, children, and elders, that's the only reason I won't support you if you got that on you. If you don't have none of that on you, if that's not your charges, you're not accused of that or convicted of that, I'm backing you regardless. I'm backing you regardless. You don't have none of that on you.
So I can't make that statement. I won't make that statement. But I will say this. The only reason these people are outside this courtroom is to be racial agitators. They don't give a shit if Carmelo Anthony is guilty, not guilty.
So you're saying the brothers and sisters are the agent provocateurs, not the white folks intimidating people, showing up with Confederate flags and firearms and screaming racial epithets at everybody who's not white. But the brothers and sisters are the racial provocateurs, huh?
Guilty, innocent, they don't give a damn. They are here to be racial agitators. They're here because they see a black kid on trial for doing something to a white boy, and that's all they care about. Point blank, period.
Have y'all been on TikTok to see what people are saying on TikTok? I'm telling y'all, even when the situation happened, black people on TikTok were defending this shit with huge numbers.
I gotta keep it 100. I will make a TikTok right now and say, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. Carmelo Anthony is guilty.
So if you're for that means the black community agrees with it, right?
It's the opposite of a nigga.
That's actually a bad word. We can't say that on YouTube. We've actually got
I'll be that
in trouble for that. But this is what they're out there saying.
If evidence does come out that Karmelo was not in fact fighting for his life when he stabbed and killed Austin Metcalf, do you think that the black community will accept that?
Brother,
That's
that is-
alcohol.
Yes, brother, that is wine.
She got a quick.
This
track
looks like a
soda.
Boondocks episode.
I told. That's what I quoted this shit and said on Twitter. I said the Boondocks was right about black people. Yes.
If evidence does come out that Karmelo was not in fact fighting for his life when he stabbed and killed Austin Metcalf, do you think that the black community will accept that?
If evidence shows that he did not, no, we're gonna stand by ours regardless. They stand by theirs.
I told y'all.
We're gonna stand by ours regardless.
And what is wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. She explained why, immediately saying after she said she's gonna stand by hers because they stand by theirs. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing.
I'm a mother first. I'm a black mother. Let me put that on there. I'm an African American mother. So I have to put away my color first and step into the mother.
It's just crazy because no, hold on, please, bro. It's just crazy because she said even if the evidence shows that I'm still, so you're okay with murder just because someone is your own race.
No. She proceeded to say, I have to put away my black and be a mother first, but I'm standing with him because he's black and I'm a black mother. What the fuck? She don't know what she believes. Direct contradiction.
I'm losing.
Let's let the video
I lose
go,
IQ
man.
points listening to this shit.
It's not a contradiction. She said what she meant. She's going to stand by hers regardless. Like everybody stand by theirs. That's what she means. That's what she's standing on. There's nothing wrong with that, fools. Nothing.
You know what? I'm losing. I'm actually losing hope.
But man, I've been lost.
I'm
I
losing
said we
hope.
need to get on the plank on the boat and go. But anyway, look,
This is
look.
crazy.
I wish the three of you would get on the boat and go. Go far, far away. Go far, far away that you don't have no reception. Go somewhere where they don't have no internet so you wouldn't be able to stream bullshit.
Back to Africa. Wait, hold on though. If we can't acknowledge the
You see what they on? He just said he wouldn't go back to Africa. Gone. I wish you would. You just gave yourself up for who you are, but I wish you would go back.
the violence in the community, so how do we, if we can't acknowledge it amongst each other, how are we going to expect these people, these pro-black people,
They're not.
to
These idiots just got here probably in the 90s, late 90s or the 90s. We already know what our problems are amongst each other. Y'all just got here. You don't know shit. We know what our problems are. And if people didn't hinder us and get in our way, our problems would be solved. If we didn't allow people to hinder us and we didn't hinder ourselves, we didn't have handkerchief head Negroes like these three, our problems would be solved like in a few minutes.
just accept a white person killing a black person.
Yeah, because they do accept it every day in the hood.
Or no, I said the fucking wrong way. Or yeah.
That's the point you made.
Anyways, you know what I'm trying to say. They're not going to accept this, guys. They're going to stand behind theirs regardless.
There's nothing to accept. There's nothing to accept. It's not a white versus black thing. Somebody killed another person, and basically,
yes, it is, because if the roles were reversed, Austin Metcalf would be walking out of there a free man because he would have been found not guilty. With especially with that same jury that Karmelo Anthony had, Austin Metcalf would be a free man. He'll be home with his family if he had that same jury.
based on the evidence presented, somebody is clearly in the wrong.
I just
take the race out of it. If a black kid did this to another black kid, I would say put that nigga in jail.
It's stupid emotion. It's not common sense. It's stupid emotion.
No. But I'm actually a little bit like genuinely shocked that they
Let the video go, bro. Just let it go, man. It's over.
We're going to stand by ours regardless. I'm a mother first. I'm a black mother. Let me put that on there. I'm an African American mother. So I have to put away my color first and step into the motherhood. Nobody wants to see their child slain. So I do want to send prayers to Austin Metcalf, their family. But at the end of the day, I got to think like, okay, what did you do to them or whatever to cause this to happen, the reaction? We got to start taking accountability for our kids. Because then again, if my kid, that's why it's a catch-22. If my kid was Karmelo and I feel like his back was up against the wall, well, I'm going to tell you straight up, better mine than yours. Better mine than yours. So either way it go.
That's real talk. better mind than yours. Better mind than yours.
Everybody loses. A black boy
It's better yours than mine,
allegedly
dumbass.
murdered, and I say allegedly, heavy on the allegedly murdered somebody. You see what I'm saying?
She knows better minds than yours. Is better mind coming home or being still here with us than yours be where he's at, regardless.
So yeah, this is about race. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, they wouldn't give a damn.
Who wouldn't give a damn?
The let me say this. Let's say the community.
So like if Carmelo Anthony was the one stabbed and killed by Austin Metcalf,
they wouldn't give a damn.
I come out here every Thursday.
If Carmelo Anthony was in his grave, all these people saying that it wasn't self-defense would be saying that it was self-defense. And they know that. If they say anything different, they'll be lying ass hypocrites. They'll be lying hypocrites because it happens all the time. It happens all the time. White men or white women, mostly white men with their coward ass, would start trouble with one of us and a fight happen. They don't fight with their hands. They'll pull out a gun and shoot the person. Even with George Zimmerman and a 17-year-old boy that he accosted. With a 17-year-old boy that he accosted. Even if that boy was doing what George Zimmerman said that he was doing to him. You're a grown man approaching, you're 37 years old, that young brother was 17 years old. If you can't beat him, you need your behind whoop. A 37-year-old can't beat a 17-year-old, and especially you shouldn't even be approaching him because dispatch told you not to approach him, but you did it anyway and you ended up shooting him. That's what they do. They'll start trouble, and as soon as you crack them up beside their dome, they pull out a weapon and shoot you. See, these dudes here, they're going to get a wake-up call. I just hope they do. I just hope they do.
And we pray for people going to court because we know this is the final frontier of racism and it's legalized here.
it was
Holy
announced
shit.
yesterday that there's no black jurors that were chosen. What are your thoughts on that?
That's why we need God. That's why we need God, and that's why he's going to show who's in control.
You know, I would love to see that because it seems to me that wickedness is prevailing on this earth today. Wickedness is winning. We are at the apex of corruption and wickedness in this world. Right now, this moment, I don't know if this apex means that something divine is going to happen and people are going to get sat down, taken out of here by divinity, the divine intervention. But right now, we are at the apex of corruption and wickedness in modern day history, because it's not like as if this country was never wicked. But these dudes here, they just got here. Again, I'm going to keep saying it. They don't know shit. They don't know a damn thing.
And would you be open to giving us your personal insight into the Carmelo Anthony trial and what your thoughts are on it?
I just want justice done. You know, we know nobody go to a track meet to murder anybody. Okay, come on.
Why did he bring the knife?
Self-defense, that's what it was. I'm not saying the kid should get off free, but first degree murder? Come on. Basically, he's facing the wrong charge for the crime that was committed.
Do you think Carmelo is innocent? Do you feel like it's been an unfair response to what happened to Carmelo Anthony?
I feel that the justice system always over-respond when it comes to us.
And that's the absolute truth. And I also think that America's jurisprudence is not worthy of wiping your backside with it. It's not.
Over respond.
Definitely. I mean, you
Holy
look at the
shit.
charge. It was self-defense. He was wrestling with two guys. I don't know what the parameters of it, but it was two people. So, you know, 2 against 1, that's self-defense.
It's not funny, bro. Oh
No,
my god.
no.
It's just like hysterical.
This
It's
is
just
literally pissing me off because I'm losing brain cells. Listen to how stupid these people are.
Bro.
This dude said we're gonna see who God is in control. Okay, when he goes to jail,
Yes,
God
we
is
are.
in control.
Yes, we are. That's what I was gonna say.
Second
That's all
off,
I'm
America's not even trying to hide it anymore. Okay? I mean, were they ever? They're doing it openly, explicitly, and on the record and daring us to do anything about it. Not one black juror. Not one. Out of 600 people that showed up, every single black juror got struck down. Now they're saying that there are some minorities, but what that mean? On a one-on-one, I've had great, interactions with Hispanic people, with Asian people, of course, but we know as a whole, as a whole people, how we're treated by them majority of the time.
I just don't know
the community
how y'all are making this a race thing. The jurors got themselves removed, first of all, because they spoke on that they had bias. They said, I can't send the black guy to jail. He looks so young, I can't send him to jail. I can't send the brother to jail. All right, y'all gone. Bro. 2, they acting like
that's those particular ones, fool. Because I'm absolutely certain there was more than those 3 that you're referring to. Again, 600 people in the jury pool that they had to choose from. Numbskull. It's not that, okay, I'm sure it was more out of 600 people, was more than 3 people who were petite jurors or potential jurors. They just didn't choose any of us. If y'all can't see that, you're not looking, because I know what y'all see when y'all look in the mirror. Something that you hate, someone that you hate.
like they acting like he's a victim of some
sort. If this was black on black, they would say the other kid murdered him.
Facts.
If this was white on white, I would say the other kid murdered him.
I know.
This shit is crazy.
So this is just the mindset. And y'all want to say that it's not the community, but I'm sorry, man. 60% of the community is fucking dumb. And they're not okay. And they believe probably all the same shit.
Well, he must be a part of that 60% of the community, because he's talking like he's not a part of the community. So that must be your fraction of the community then. You must be over there in the dumb part of the community then. It's crazy how people who's supposed to be one of us make these claims and have these statistics and these stereotypes about people you aren't a part of. It makes no damn sense. As if you're not one of us were supposed to be anyway. But that 60%, that's where you at.
All these people have said. So I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna really, it could be 70, brother.
Wow. No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't think it's I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just more such a the sheep mindset. Like whatever black people are thinking and doing and acting, I'm gonna do that too, or else they're going to, ban me from the black community.
It's called being on code, numbskull. That's what being on code for. When we go a certain way, we all go that way. That's what everybody do. That's what everybody seem to do, but us. Go a certain way and we all be on code. That's what everybody seem to do with us. But we seem to have the need or be compelled to have this self-righteous ass mentality, wanting to be right so much to the point that we're wrong. And we judge correctness and we judge righteousness based on what wicked people say it is. We judge justice and what's right and what's wrong based on people who have done nothing but wrong, and in particular to our people. We can't judge good because good is subjective. And good is based on a perspective of the individual. Because if I ran your pockets and I came off with $1,000, that's good for me. But is it good for you? So good is subjective and it's about a perspective of the individual. Everything somebody say is good is not good. Because if there's a victim and you're good, overall it's not good.
Community.
I will say it is a sheep mindset because people are only getting behind him because of the color of his skin and because the victim is white, and they are somehow convinced because of white.
The same reason why other people get behind their person is because it's their person. They get behind their brother is because their brother. That's the main reason why you should support your brother, is because it's your brother. Again, if it's not SA, if it's not PDF, it's not if it's not abuse against women, children, or elders, I'm going to support you. As long as you don't do those things, I'm going to support you. I'm going to be with you.
White kid got harmed, or because it was a white person involved and another black kid, and the black kid's the one in trouble, they're somehow convinced that this is somehow because he's in trouble because he's black. He's somehow in trouble because he's black. They're somehow convinced the white kid did something.
Look at the kid's record. No priors. Look at the kid's academia. Okay? Look at all of that. Are you considering any of that? His academia and his lack of criminal record. Look at all of that. They're not even considering that.
Something to him when really this was a kid who made a mistake. And I can't even say it was a mistake because you brought a knife to a track meet and then you used it.
Yeah.
It's like
a mistake at a track meet is you dropped the baton.
Yeah.
That's a mistake.
And
you murdered somebody.
It's like bringing
you
a
made
knife.
a decision.
It's like you brought a weapon to school and used it. At what point does it not become a mistake and becomes you in the wrong?
This is just as bad as the girl, the immigrant girl that came from Ukraine.
Oh, this
got
worse
stabbed.
than that. Well,
no,
I don't know.
It's the same.
I don't
thing.
know.
It's pretty much the same.
Pretty much.
Because you came to the track meet and you were under a tent, just looking for some type of something. Because somebody could have said, because you were talking to someone. If that would have been, we would have said, hold on. I mean, but that we still wouldn't have justified
not
it.
One witness.
But when they said that you just were under the tent and said, don't touch me, that's it. You weren't talking to nobody. You said, touch me and see.
Which makes no sense. I don't understand how they don't think. They're not thinking at all. These dudes are emotional effeminates. That's what they are, emotional effeminates. Who says, touch me and see what happened out of nowhere? Nobody says, touch me and see what happens absent a threat. Nobody does that. Oh, can you move from under the tent? Touch me and see what happened. Nobody does that. That makes absolutely no sense. And they're trying to make sense of it. That's stupid.
Well, obviously, brother, we don't want you here. Somebody's going to shove you. So I shove you and I get stabbed. That's the same thing, bro.
It's pretty close. But this is the thing, though. I still want to know, why did he go to their tent?
Because it's the same thing.
No.
He was looking for violence. When you said, hey, touch me.
You know what I think it was? Hold on. Let me finish. You know what I think it was? Had to have been. Y'all going to get mad at me for saying this? I remember I said this when this first happened. Very first happened. And y'all all grilled me. Not you, but you and Taj.
What?
I said he could have been trying to steal. What is your motive for going in there? Why did you go into their tent? There's no reason. Like you said, if there's no friend, if there's no girl, that's the only two reasons I can see. Friend or girl, or still snacks. But you know what? It's not like that's the crazy thing, because guess what?
Yeah, it's true.
In high school.
These idiots don't even do their research. They just put on a video and react emotional and effeminate with the video. The reason why Karmelo was under the tent, it wasn't because he was looking for violence, you dumb Negroes. It was raining. That's why everyone was under the tent, because it was raining. When it started raining, everybody went in shelter in place. All you have to do is do your research. And you don't even have to search deep. You don't even have to search deep. And they were remiss of doing a little. You could have did even though I don't really subscribe to that, you could have did a little Google search. It was raining when that stabbing happened. And that's the reason why they were under the tent. You're going to tell a young man that he can't be under the tent sheltering in place while it's raining? That's hateful. That is hateful.
High school used to go in other people's tents and steal the snacks. I would. I would literally do that. That's a normal thing to do. Before? So yes, I've done that. So when I
see, he's going to judge Karmelo based on his criminality, based on him being a thief stealing the rival team snacks. That don't mean Karmelo's like that. That's you and your foolishness and your lack of morals going and stealing people's snacks.
I say that. When I said that way back, y'all can go watch the very first Karmelo we ever did over a year ago. Right. I said that and they said, "Oh, look at bro." Actually, oh no. I said, what other reason? That's a hot. If he doesn't have a friend, if he doesn't have a girl, he's stealing snacks. Yeah. I was stealing snacks. Yeah. That's a regular thing to do. Or stealing. He got caught. He was embarrassed. He stabbed it.
Or stealing the gear. People do that.
Stealing something.
I've seen people
phone.
You see how he's criminalizing the young brother? So he was stealing. He got caught and he stabbed somebody. That is defamation of character, really. That's what it is. It's defamation of character. And speculation. Outright speculation.
Oh, the fact, but I'll just give the benefit of the doubt of it was snacks.
Even the black guy said it. He said, nobody goes to track meet to kill. Yeah, you're right. So,
but they will steal.
Yeah. So then when he sees,
they will do that.
You see,
they will.
That's the motive I'm seeing for him being in the team.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this.
This damn near armed robbery.
I'm gonna say this: the fact that you brought a weapon, right? The fact you brought a weapon, and then you went to another team's area and didn't leave after they repeatedly asked you to leave. You're already wrong. Whatever comes after that.
Let's say if I had a fingernail file or anything sharp, anything can be turned into a weapon. Anything could be turned into a weapon. If you had your keys in your hand, that could be turned into a weapon. And that makes no sense to say he brought a weapon there just to do what he did. Carrying a knife is a normalcy. That's normal. I carry a knife every single day. As a matter of fact, I work with knives, but outside of that, I carry a knife every single day. That don't mean I'm carrying a weapon. I'm carrying a knife. It can be instantly turned into one, and so could my fist. So I put my hands down. My fist can be a damn weapon. My feet could be a weapon. My knees, my elbows. That could be a weapon. So either way, I guess we're carrying a weapon.
You're dead fucking wrong.
It's actually
sorry.
It's no hope. Like I was.
No, he's going away. He's going away.
Man, I don't know, man. It's
no, I told you he's going away. Go watch them old videos, y'all. I've been saying it.
See, these dudes here is hoping that he goes away, even though that's what it turned out to be. But they were optimistic that this brother would be convicted. These are the Hodge twins, Brandon Tatum type dudes, Anton Daniels type dudes that never side with our people. And regardless of what happened, they root for the others. That's what they do. This is what they do.
He should be, but it's like everybody was debating it so much.
No, I wasn't debating nothing. I said I'm not. But based on the evidence, he's gone.
I don't know what happened. Why would somebody just stab someone? But after the witnesses, guys,
man, to the people defending this dude and protesting for this dude,
they pro-black. They just
pro-black. Hold on. They're just not smart.
So hold on. Okay, now I'm gonna say something really controversial right here, and I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way. When there are other groups of people who say, "I don't want to live around that type of attitude," take the skin color away. Is that a crazy thing to say now? I'm just like actually mind blown by this, because it's like, wow, bro, these people are riding behind this, knowing the facts. It'd be different if they really believed. Like the dude with the dreads, he really.
Nobody knows the facts. I don't, and neither do the three of you know the facts. None of us, in fact, I'm in a different state, and you're on where you're at, wasn't allowed in the courtroom. So none of us know the fact. All we know is what somebody came outside that courtroom and told us. We wasn't allowed in there. Cameras, cell phones, recording equipment, audio equipment wasn't allowed in there. Probably court TV or somebody was allowed in there. So you don't know the facts. And CBS is not going to give you the facts. None of these news programs are going to give you the facts. They're not.
Really believes, I think that, you know what he said. I think he's just the victim of the propaganda. He believes what they said. But the woman, she said, even if the evidence proves that that's what happened, that's that person I ain't trying to be around.
I agree. But they killing each other.
That is, you cannot.
You don't know that lady to say they're killing each other. You don't know none of these people that spoke on that camera. And if you were my son, I'll snatch you up and tell you to stop talking like that. I would tell you to never talk like that again. And if I got to tell you again, we're going to have a problem.
You said even if
this ain't Trayvon Martin.
Then she went out and said, then she went out and tried to use a quote. She said, better mine than yours. No, the quote is better yours than mine, because if it's better mine than yours, then your son would have got killed.
Yeah, she said that back.
Like you said that.
You don't know what she meant. It could be better mine living. It could be better mine living than yours. It could be that. You don't know what the woman meant.
Backwards.
Yeah, man. Hey, this is not Trayvon Martin. This is murder. Trayvon Martin was questionable.
I think that was dead wrong with the person.
Yeah, that was questionable. I think it's not questionable, man.
No, this.
But what she's saying, better mine.
He said Trayvon Martin was questionable. Questionable. That means questionable means that you have doubt, but you're not sure. A 37-year-old man approaching a 17-year-old and end up shooting them, that's not questionable. That is emphatic.
My kid have killed the kid and be on trial, and your kid killed my kid and be on trial.
We know what she was trying to say.
She said
she's an idiot.
Better mine surviving than yours, I guess.
Exactly. Idiot in the middle.
I think that's what she meant.
They think we in lynching times.
I just
because
don't.
He a white boy. He would have touched him and killed him, and I don't know, man. That attracts me. I don't know how they see life though. I don't know how older people see life, man. I don't know. I ain't go through.
Of course, and you got a lot. That's why I say you don't know shit, and you shouldn't be talking because you don't know shit. You got a lot to learn, and I hope you learn fast. I really hope you learn fast because you think you know what you're talking about and you just got here. You just got here. Y'all in this age of, y'all in this rainbow caught in the Gatrix shit. That's what y'all in. You think you know something when you don't. Now we're going to go to court TV. These dudes is wild.
Right now, we want justice. We want justice. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? What do we want? Justice. When do we want it?
The same old same all across America. All across America. We have protests. We have the same ranting, chanting. I mean, you know, I'm not going to disturb nobody's spirit, but I just get tired of hearing the chanting and the ranting when people do us harm. I'm just tired of hearing it.
I can only imagine what it would have done to the jurors.
Yeah, there were no cameras involved, but our Cody Thomas was able to bring the courtroom to life during the trial with his notes. He is making his way, of course, into the courtroom, and he'll be giving us the color of the courtroom. We'll be getting it and passing it along to you, and then eventually when the verdict is read, which we do believe.
The color of the courtroom besides the Anthony family is white. That's the color of the courtroom because the damn jury was all white. And the judge was also. So that's the color of the courtroom.
Will be very soon. We will pass that along to you in real time. So let's get a break now. And when we come back, our continuing coverage of the breaking news. There is a verdict in the case against Karmelo Anthony. Back with that verdict right after this.
We need to be on front. We need to represent for our sisters. We need to fight for our sisters. We need to fight for our community. They always up front. They always fight. They want freedom. They want protection for our community. They want protection for our family. Free Karmelo. 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 Free Karmelo.
This is when they were waiting for a verdict. Of course, everybody knows what the verdict is, but at this time, they were waiting for the verdict. We're gonna move on from that. We're gonna move on from that, the protests, because that was before the verdict.
Now, you know what I think is getting exposed in this trial? Not Karmelo Anthony, not even the legal system. It's something a lot bigger than that, because every time a new testimony comes out, every time another witness speaks, every time another piece of information gets added to the pile, some people don't ask whether it's true. They ask whether it's useful.
If evidence does come out that Karmelo was not in fact fighting for his life when he stabbed and killed Austin Metcalf, do you think that the Black community will accept that?
If evidence shows that he did not, no, we're going to stand by ours regardless. They stand by theirs. We're going to stand by ours regardless. I'm a mother first. I'm a Black mother. Let me put that on there. I'm an African-American mother. So I have to put away my color first and step into the motherhood.
African American, that shit always have disturbed me, how our people just grab that foolishness and put it on us.
Nobody wants to see their child slain. So I do want to send prayers to Austin Metcalf, their family. But at the end of the day, I got to think like, okay, what did you do to them or whatever to cause this to happen, the reaction? We got to start taking accountability for our kids. Because then again, if my kid, that's why I said catch-22, if my kid was Karmelo and I feel like his back was up against the wall, I'm going to tell you straight up, better mine than yours. Better mine than yours. So either way it go, everybody loses. A black boy allegedly murdered, and I say allegedly, heavy on the allegedly murdered somebody. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, this is about race. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, they wouldn't give a damn.
If the shoe was on the other foot, all of these people who are supporting Austin would be saying that he defended himself. He feared for his life. As big as he is over Karmelo, if he had killed Karmelo, they'll be saying he feared for his life. And they'll be screaming self-defense like they always do when one of them do harm to us. We can be unarmed with nothing in our hands, and they do harm to us with a firearm, and they'll still say self-defense. Again, i.e. George Zimmerman killed a 17-year-old boy, Rick Chow killed a 14-year-old boy, whatever the lady name is, in L.A. in 1992 when she shot her in the head with a over a bottle of orange juice, killed a 15-year-old girl. And that little girl had the money in her hand about to pay for the orange juice, pulled the gun out, shot her in the head. Our delineation should have been happening. Should have been happening a long time ago, because we don't have no allies. We only have ourselves. And with Negroes like the so-called Cartier family, call themselves the Cartier family, with Negroes like that, that's what makes us dysfunctional. These contrarian ass Negroes who wants to go the other way, whatever way we're going, that's their thing is to go the other way. These Anton Daniels, these Brandon Tatum types cats, I don't like these type of cats. And I wouldn't allow them around me.
Who wouldn't give a damn?
Let me say this.
I would say it straight up, the ones who screaming that it's not self-defense. They'll be saying it's self-defense if it was Austin Metcalf on trial.
Let's say the community.
So like if Karmelo Anthony was the one stabbed and killed by Austin Metcalf,
they wouldn't give a damn.
I come out here every Thursday and we pray for people going to court.
Nasty work, y'all. That's what it is. It's nasty work. Straight up nasty work.
State of South Carolina, County of Richland versus Chike Rick Chow. We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Chike Rick Chow, as to the charge of murder, not guilty.
They flip the script and call it law, but I can read the lines. Truth gets dragged through broken glass while they rewrite the signs. Before the cameras, it was words and words got lost in smoke. Our names went up against the badge and too many people choke. Now every phone can catch the frame, now every feet can see. The same old line and new coastal dressed up as mercy. They want us quiet, want us small, want us scared to say the facts. But pain don't vanish when you post it and the feed don't heal the cracks. This is nasty work, and I know it when I see it. Truth in the light, but they still try to de-screen it. We been hurt, now we turn that fear to fire. When tears hit the ground, they rise up higher and higher. This is nasty work, but we standing through the night. Our babies ain't a price tag, our grief is our right. We won't bow, we won't break, we won't let them rewrite. Tears turn to a fight, tears turn to a fight. Young black child in the backlight, heart full of morning air. Then a grown man turns the street into a place that ain't fair. Son or daughter, someone's world, someone's reason to believe. And they treat that sacred little life like it's nothing on the sleeve. We carry names like burning coal, we carry dates like stone. Trayvon in the echo chamber and Mo gone from the home. Cyrus in the headlines, now another mother left to cry. Another father tasting silence where his boy should have been hiding. Say it's just a moment, but that that moment changes years, and every new attack on us is baptized in our tears. M-A-E-D-A, why can't you hear the warning call? I ain't gonna lie, I'm so mad it makes me wanna ball. But anger ain't the enemy, it's fuel for what I do. My tears will learn to march in time, my grief will make it through. This is nasty work, and I know it when I see it. Truth in the light, but they still try to de-screen it. We've been hurt, now we turn that fear to fire. When tears hit the ground, they rise up higher and higher. This is nasty work, but we standing through the night. Our babies ain't a price tag, our grief is our right. We won't bow, we won't break, we won't let them rewrite. Tears turn to a fight, tears turn to a fight. Peace for the lost and power for the living. Peace to the earth and the courage for the giving. If they set the stage, then we change the play. Truth got a voice and it ain't going away.
Our unity in sisterhood, brotherhood, and struggle is profound, principled, and forever.
Now they are at the sentencing stage of the trial now, and the phase.
And Karen, that was one of the most memorable moments I've ever had inside a courtroom.
And we're cutting to that right now, the sentencing phase of the trial. And I don't know if they're sentencing him now or if they have sentenced him now.
Tension, the emotion.
Said 5 to 99 years or life in prison for a then 17-year-old. It just ruined his life.
It was very overwhelming at times for a lot of those people in there. Let me start off by talking about where we are right now, and then we'll go back to where we started this day, which is, I don't think anybody imagined this morning we would be at this point in the trial right now. It's moved at just lightning pace. The judge at this moment is working on a charge to the jury, otherwise known as the jury instructions, which will be read to the jury to determine sentencing. Now that he's already been found guilty, there's another trial right afterward called the sentencing trial or punishment phase, and that involves opening statements, witnesses, closing arguments. A lot of that's been taken off the table by both sides, prosecution and defense. So the judge is going to read the instructions. We still expect to hear closing arguments from the prosecution and the defense, who are hopefully trying to, argue for a mitigated sentence for Karmelo Anthony. We don't know at that point. We don't know what prosecutors are going to ask for at this point. But once that happens, the jury will go right back into their room and they will start deliberating a sentence, which means we could have his guilt or innocence verdict today and his sentencing today. If they don't reach a decision tonight, they will be sequestered and they'll start up again tomorrow. Now, earlier today, I think we have some courtroom sketches to show you what actually transpired, but we had closing arguments in this case, and both sides gave the jury, and Karen, that was one of the most memorable moments I've ever had inside a courtroom. And Karen, that was one of the most memorable moments I've ever had inside a courtroom. The tension, the emotion. It was very overwhelming at times for a lot of those people in there. Let me start off by talking about where we are right now, and then we'll go back to where we started this day, which is, I don't think anybody imagined this morning we would be at this point in the trial right now. It's moved at just lightning pace. The judge at this moment is working on a charge to the jury, otherwise known as the jury instructions, which will be read to the jury to determine sentencing. Now that
they're saying that the young brother, Karmelo Anthony, was sentenced to 35 years in prison. 35 years in prison. No priors. Never been in trouble in his life. And he was sentenced to 35 years in prison. That's what they're saying.
he's already been found guilty. There's another trial right afterward called the sentencing trial or punishment phase, and that involves opening statements, witnesses, closing arguments. A lot of that's been taken off the table by both sides, prosecution and defense. So the judge is going to read the instructions. We still expect to hear closing arguments from the prosecution and the defense, who are hopefully trying to, argue for a mitigation.
We're gonna go to somebody I respect. I respect him, the amazing Lucas. He's gonna talk about the guilty verdict. But it's crazy. This young man,
game over.
Minding his business, and his life was ruined by people who refused to mind their business.
Oh my goodness. So I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Karmelo's going away. That's correct. Karmelo is getting locked up. Now, I don't know for how long, but one thing
and I agree with you with your title, Lucas. You know, a lot of times, I'm going to say this most of the time, I agree with Lucas, and I definitely agree with his subtitle. The defense blew it. I think the defense was weak. It was too swift. They didn't have enough witnesses. They didn't call enough witnesses. And the defense they just didn't do their job to me, because it went too fast to be defending him. You're supposed to defend your client emphatically. You're supposed to pull no stop when it comes to bringing the witnesses. And as fast as it went, nah, he couldn't have been defended the way he should have been.
thing I do know for certain, Karmelo is getting locked up. He's going to prison. And to be honest with you, I don't think that's right, okay? But the only people to blame in this scenario is his defense team. His defense team is possibly the worst group of attorneys that I've ever seen, especially on a trial such as this, okay, where the stakes are high. This team was borderline incompetent. And here's the thing, the reason why it makes it so painful to relate this is due to the fact that the facts and the evidence were on their side. Anyone, ask any attorney, they will tell you that that's.
Every attorney that I heard speak said the prosecution's case was weak and the defense case was real strong, but you have to present the evidence that you have. You got to present it all. You can't come weak. And based on how they did things, they didn't defend him properly, which is why between that and the jury, they should do an appeal, an immediate appeal.
That's not enough. It's never enough in court. The facts and evidence may be on your side, but if you can't relay it to a jury in a compelling fashion, right, in a compelling narrative, then you're going to lose. It just is what it is. And when it comes to the prosecution, they had all the sizzle and no steak.
Exactly.
And it is painful to understand that this kid is going to go away, bro, for defending himself due to an incompetent defense team. And, you know, the reason I bring up this video is because, you know, the judge, they have agreed to include manslaughter in the charge, right? So they can choose to acquit him, they can choose manslaughter, or they can choose, you know, the hard end, right? That's what they can choose. And even in the closing argument, it's a testament to how incompetent, you know, Karmelo's defense team was. Because usually, right, in Texas, I looked this up, is that usually, and it was reported on this as well, is that, you know, the prosecution, the state, they get to have an opening closing and, you know, a closing, right? They get to go twice, okay, because the burden of proof is on them. This prosecution was so pompous. This prosecution was so arrogant, and in their understanding of the incompetence of Karmelo's defense, that they waived.
Real talk, Lucas. Real talk. They were pompous and knowing of a surety of the incompetence of Karmelo Anthony's defense team. They seen it and they capitalized off the incompetence of his defense team. They capitalized off it.
Their right to go first.
Damn.
They waived their opening closing argument. I want you to think about that. Do you understand how slow, how incompetent, how like handicapped the defense has to be for the prosecution to be like, we don't even need to say anything. We'll respond to whatever they say. How about that? We don't even need an opening argument, okay? Let them go ahead.
Come on now, dog.
That is insane to me, bruh. That's insane to me. There has to be like a mistrial based off an incompetent, representation. I mean, it's wild, bro. It's wild because one of the factors that kept on being brought up was the knife, bro. Even in the defense's closing arguments, they try to say it was self-defense and that he was surrounded and yada yada yada. But none of that matters, right? None of that matters because you haven't explained why he brought the knife. So if you don't explain why he brought the knife, what does that allow the prosecution to do? The prosecution goes and paints a narrative, right? Prosecution, that is like the crux of everything. The knife, oh, why is a knife, right? And that's going to stick in the jury because the jury does not have a reasonable answer.
And also, they didn't humanize the young brother. The prosecution dwelled on the knife, why he brought a knife to a school, why he brought a knife to the school. They just kept dwelling on that. And the defense didn't humanize him and make him the victim that he really was. They failed to do that miserably.
Answer, we may have reasonable answers. Hell, I think there was one that was even foreshadowed that many people thought that was going to be presented was that, hey, he likes to go camping, right? They brought that up, if I'm not mistaken, in court. He likes to go camping. How could they not attach the knife to camping? That, hey, he brings a knife, he brings a knife all the time, right? Because he likes to go camping. He just came back from a camping trip. Something, give us something so the jury can explain that away in their heads because they didn't do that.
Exactly. They could have said, well, it was a utility knife that scouts carry with the can opener, the bottle opener, and the little knife. Was one. I mean, they could have just explained that to him. He likes camping. He brought that style knife to the track meet. When I was 17 years old, I carried one of those knives with all of that, all those utilities on it. I carried one of those.
That, all right? And the closing argument was so weak that the prosecution just ate it up. It was something along the lines of you can't meet a shove with the stab, especially when you provoked it.
Damn.
So right there, bro, right there, do we get in a sentence?
And all they should have done when they said that was give case law. They could have given case law where, and not only they given case law and then given the law of non-mutual combat, because Texas is a stand your ground state. They should have given case law, and they should have given case law where, with an example that an unarmed man, they're in a fist fight, and an unarmed man pulled a gun out and shot someone when they were just mutual combat with their hands. So there's case law with all of that. That could have been a very good rebuttal.
He's trying to eliminate his right to self-defense because due to provocation, you don't get to claim self-defense. Secondly, he's trying to also, right there, you can't meet a shove with the stab. Hey, his reaction was insane, was absolutely insane to a shove. You don't get to just shank someone because of a shove. Bro, right there, that nullifies the defense and everything they say. Why?
I've seen several times when people were shoved and somebody died as a result of the shove. I've seen that.
Because they did not bring about why Karmelo would.
Not saying that somebody shoving, somebody stabbing somebody or doing any type of deadly force because of a shove is right, because it's not. Salute to my brother Maybach, my brother Big Dog Philly OG, and my brother Sir Drop. Peace to you. Not saying that a shove should end up in the loss of life. No, it shouldn't. Because the people who, but what I'm saying is, if it was that, these people would be justifying Austin Metcalf if the roles were reversed. They'll be screaming that it was self-defense. Yes, they will. Because history tells us this. It's not speculation. We can base that on history. We can base that on actual facts.
His response was justified. If you're responding with lethal force, you have got to justify that lethal force in the eyes of a jury, bruh. You have to explain why no one was armed, you have a knife, and why that was justified to use that knife during this altercation. They failed to do that. And on top of that, they failed to bring about why he had a knife to begin with. So what does the prosecution end with? Prosecution tells the jury that, hey, you need to think about his state of mind when he brought the knife. Okay, that's what you have to think about. His state of mind when he brought the knife to a track meet. That's what you have to think about. In addition to that, they go on to say that, hey, listen, you can give him manslaughter. Absolutely. If you believe that Metcalf fell onto the knife. Okay, if you believe that Metcalf impaled himself, give by all means, give Karmelo Anthony manslaughter. And it's like, bruh, oh my God, oh my Lord, bro. So now I'm thinking genuinely, based off the closing arguments, because if you're left with that, that's the last thing that's going to be in their head. Well, Metcalf falling onto the blade, impaling himself, that's ludicrous, as a prosecution say. So now he's really trying to cripple them. And honestly, I would say shame and mock them for even thinking about manslaughter, for even thinking about it. They want a murder conviction. That's what this prosecution wants. They don't want any manslaughter. They sure as heck not even thinking about acquittal. They want a murder conviction. And I'm gonna be honest with you, they very well may get it. They very well may get it. I don't agree with it at all, not at all. But the prosecution even dismisses the inaccuracies of the testimony. He's like, that happens, right? That happens. The young. But at the end of the day, this is what Karmelo did. At the end of the day, he brought a knife to a fist fight. So it's like he's hand waving the inaccuracies and the inconsistencies with the testimony.
That's the crazy part, saying he brought this. The crazy part is you say the people say he brought a knife to a fist fight, when a lot of them down in Texas and in Florida, they bring a firearm to a fist fight. They will pull a firearm out on somebody who's unarmed, who don't have nothing in their hand, nothing on their waist. They'll pull a firearm out. So who's worse? The 17-year-old child or a grown-ass man who won't ball his fist up?
To say, hey, all that matters is that this kid brought a knife to a fist fight, right? That he provoked. And that's powerful, bro. That's powerful. And then mocks him for even thinking about manslaughter. Yeah, if you think Metcalf impaled himself, give him manslaughter by all means. I think he may get murdered, genuinely. And it really is due to the incompetence of Karmelo's defense. And at the end of the day,
I agree. His defense was very incompetent. Didn't defend him properly. And the brother ended up getting 35 years. 35 years in prison.
Hey, that really goes to show when it comes to the system. Everybody's talking about, my rights, more rights, more rights. And this is something I've echoed when I've come to the realization that you don't have any rights. If you're broke, you don't have any rights, fam. That all the people that you see get away with murder and everything else in this country, they all have money, fam. They all have money, and that money comes with connections. So you got the prosecutor who knows the judge, prosecutor who can set up better arguments or knows how to.
Don't forget that skin connection. There's a skin connection also. and it's a rubbing shoulders connection also with those people. We cannot forget that.
Do an argument with this type of judge, the list goes on. Comes to, you know, how many witnesses they get to have, right? Karmelo, I believe the defense only brought up 6 witnesses. They only brought up 6 witnesses. Then they arrested. Prosecution brought up 20. Brought up 20. Even though one person was saying A, the other person was saying Z, and another person was saying G. Damn, 20 witnesses. So I don't know what was.
I've never seen a defense team run through their witnesses so fast. I mean, it was like a blinking of an eye. As a matter of fact, the entire trial was. This trial opening statement started when? On what? Friday or something? No, I think Thursday or Friday. And then they went and then they rested. I think they didn't rest. They rested the other day. They took a day off Friday and then came back over the weekend. They even went over the weekend with this. The prosecution did. This is the quickest trial of this magnitude that I've ever seen. This trial should have lasted at least 2 weeks, but it lasted less than a week, and that's crazy. Peace to my brother P. Moses. Thanks for joining.
Was the mindset behind the defense, why they thought that they could bring up 6 witnesses, right? One of them turn on them in the case, right? During trial, turn on them, blaming Karmelo. I just like, it just seemed that the prosecution knew the defense's every turn. That the prosecution had better relationships with the defense's witnesses than the defense. Like there was no, I don't know, like there was no conversation. Like this was the first time the defense meeting their own witness. Like y'all didn't go through to make sure that, hey, are you sure this is what happened? Are you sure? So that there's no, outliers when they're giving their testimony, that he doesn't just flip right on the stand. Like, I don't know, man. It just seemed to be so incompetent that it's unfortunate, really. It's unfortunate. And I genuinely would like to know what.
Peace, salute, drop. How you doing, brother? What's the word?
Cooling out, man. One thing that this was a public lynching. This is exactly what happened.
Yes, sir.
There was no black people on the jury, number one. So once the whole jury looking at you and they come with 35 years in less than a week, that was a message to y'all better not never touch us again, you fucking N-words. That's all that was. He didn't stand a chance. I don't care what his defense was. Man, and that's probably why didn't nobody take the case, because I guarantee you any top lawyer that would have took that case would have got blackballed. That was a lynching, man.
I could agree with that, bro. And it was a premeditated lynching too, bro. Because the fix was in with the jury and the defense was weak. You know what I'm saying? It was weak. The fix was in with them and the defense was weak. And it looks to me, because they should have kept the brother that they had. It seemed to me that everybody was in cahoots with the prosecution. It was. I agree with that. It was a public hanging, brother. It was.
Because I'm thinking, and now now fair is fair. You expel him from all schools, whatever. Brought a knife to school. The other part is self-defense. This big old brolic white boy, he weigh 100 pounds more than me. I told him, bro, it's raining out there, man. Let me stand up under this tent. I ain't even asking. I'm sitting there chilling with some people talking. He walk up like, man, get the fuck from under our tent. It's not your tent. Exactly. So what you mean from our tent? This is the school's tent. And you better back your bitch ass up before you get fucked up. And then boom, he approached, dude. Man, I got all right to do whatever after that.
I agree.
But
I can't.
So he should have got expelled. He should have got expelled, but it still should have been self-defense. Because you can't bring a knife to school. I get that, but you can't mix that with my charges. This is a school issue, and this is a whole something else. You know what I'm saying? What if I stab him with my pencil?
He didn't bring it, but what I'm saying is, Drop, that it was a school event. He didn't bring it to school.
Ooh, but it's still under the same shit.
Yeah. I can agree with that also, that, you know, if it's on the school grounds, put it that way. It was on
but
the
it's
school
still
grounds.
different that it wasn't at school. That do make a big difference.
It is. It wasn't during school hours. It wasn't. It was just a meet. But the thing is why would you raise your child to think that he can go tell people what he can be? And what kind of person tell you can't shelter in place while it's raining? Who does that?
And another message they was doing, enemy, is they was saying quit sending y'all kids to our school. You know, we trying to put them in a better school, better books, better teachers, better this, better that. And then the whole meanwhile, they getting treated race. Man, leave them away from them people. Go ahead, you go.
We see it all the time, Drop. We think we're doing good by taking our children out of the quote unquote hood and putting them in the suburbs, and they fall a victim there. As if they're safer in the damn hood than they are in the damn suburbs. Because if you look at the mass shootings, where they happening at? And who do they target? Who do they target in the suburbs? You know what I'm saying? Littleton High and all these other places. They fall
entitled little spoiled white kids is what it be.
Exactly. So for us to think that, I know we want our children to have the best that they have to offer when it comes to education, but it's not necessarily the best, bro, because I had real good teachers in the hood where I grew up at, real good teachers that made sure, but most of my teachers were brothers and sisters, and they made sure you got what America had to offer in education, and if you didn't do your work, you got to explain to your parents why you get home at 4:30. They didn't play. My teachers didn't play, and
they had black male teachers back then too. Ain't no more black male teachers. They all white men, white ladies.
You know, our children, like the brother P. Moses said, our children are actually overall safer in the hood, bro. At least they know.
And they know how to move in the hood. Let's look at the psychology of Karmelo right quick. If I feel I'm about to take this knife to school, that mean y'all been fucking with me. That mean that, man, I wish these motherfuckers would. They probably never telling a story on maybe 27 days ago. Big white boy done threw him down in the bathroom. It's probably something like that happened too. And they'd never bring it up. Or nobody never say nothing, because them white students ain't gonna tell on the white guy that got killed. They love them. That's how they had 20 witnesses. Since when the prosecution got 20? Let alone, like you said, go through them that fast. That mean they all said the same thing and got off the stand.
Because they were coached. Those witnesses were coached, because some of those witnesses flipped. And some of those witnesses were manufactured witnesses. They were manufactured.
So is it a psyop, man, or is this shit real?
You know, bro, a psychological operation is not whether it's real or fake. It's how it affects the people.
I mean, right, not a hoax. My bad, you're right. You think it's a psyop for sure. You think it's a hoax, though?
I think it's a psyops, not a hoax.
Me too.
Because you know, it's not a false flag or a hoax. It's definitely a psychological operation, because look how it's affecting the people. You know what I'm saying? And it's affected a lot of people in a certain way, because if you look at how in close proximity, we had a verdict last week where a 57-year-old man shot a 14-year-old in the back, and he got away with that. Can you understand how that affects people psychologically to hear this, to see that verdict, and then a week later, this shit happens?
Both one kid died, one kid got 35. That is crazy.
You know what I'm saying? In like a week's time, you got the verdict last. You got the
two different races.
You know what I'm saying? Two different races. One of our young brothers got shot in the back by an Asian, a 57-year-old Asian chasing a 14-year-old, shooting him in the back. He got away with that. And then that's letting us know. You niggas' hands are tied. You can't defend yourself. You can't even run from us. We'll still shoot you.
I wonder if it got a lot to do with where you live in too, because in Ohio you would get a little bit of justice. These white people is like black friendly up here. But some of them down south places like Texas, man, you don't stand a chance, man.
Yeah.
People where they'll call you boy. Oh, you don't stand a chance. If you got people in your city that still call niggas boy, you don't stand a chance. Don't break the law down there. They probably still got sundown time. Man.
Yeah, we don't play that up here, bro. We don't get that calling somebody boy. Nah.
I guarantee it. For sure.
They get your jaw broke.
No, you can press play on, dude. We did just bully dude. So
you call somebody a boy, a white boy call one of us a boy where I live at, he'll be real happy and he'll have gratitude the next time he can talk. He'll see that that's a damn privilege, and you just can't go around calling somebody boy.
yeah, Chad wouldn't have survived.
Be very grateful that he can talk. Salute to the brother D. Allen Warren. Thanks for joining, bro. But bro, you know, I agree with you, bro. He was tied to the railroad. The young brother, Karmelo Anthony. No priors, bro. You see how they tried to shine up the Metcalf family and dirty up the Anthony family? You tried to shine that up, bro, and they knew. Everybody knows, based on actual facts, what that family is dysfunctional. But the nuclear family that's together, they get villainized. But the dysfunctional white family, parents not together, they're dysfunctional, the father abusing the mother, and the boys beating their father's ass, from my understanding. And their sons on, and the Metcalf boys is on camera with guns and the whole nine. You don't see that with Karmelo Anthony.
And that's crazy. And I wish Karmelo and Anthony was like that, because if you did that to my son, right? He brought a knife to school. You tried to bully him. He stabbed your son. I'm going to tell my son, did you get that big nigga off you, right? He like, yeah. Did he die? Damn, that's fucked up. You got to live with that, son. But I'm never going to say you shouldn't have did it, right? And then y'all turn around and give my son 35 years. Well, we going to get justice and blood then. Now it's a family feud. Now we rolling on the other brother. We rolling on auntie at this point because y'all tripping. Your son attacked my son. My son was defending himself. My son didn't come in the tent and say, "What up, white boy?" and stab your son. But no, your son. Right. That's how they painted it.
But that's how they painted it, though, because how the news painted it was like Austin asked him to move, and he just said, "Touch me and see what happened." Who the hell does that? Nobody does that.
Even if he said that's cool. Man, I ain't moving nowhere. And if you touch me, see what happened. You can't just make me move. Who is you?
Exactly.
It's raining outside is the only reason I'm under this tent anyway, because it's rain. It ain't like it's a sunny day. It's like, man, I'm not about to stand in the rain, you whole ass nigga.
Yeah, but that's but again, that's how he was raised. Either he was raised like that, or he's not holding on to what his parents taught him. But I think he was raised like that, making him think that he can approach people, telling them what they can and cannot be. And you can't
bully.
A bully. If you teach your child to do that, you set your child up. If you teach your child that he's supposed to be doing it, and if you teach your child that okay, to pick on smaller people, and just so happen to be a little bro. If you teaching them to do that, he met his demise because of that. Austin Metcalf met his demise because he was a damn bully. because he was a
And
bully.
Carmelo Anthony can win an appeal if his family. Here's what his family gotta do. Gotta use the internet, and they gotta go on a smear campaign. They have to go on every time somebody got bullied by this dude, every fight he got in since the 3rd grade. Cause you could tell these two twins or brothers or whatever they was is bullied.
Yeah,
So
they
once we paint it like, nah, these weren't just a Poindexter, Napoleon Dynamite type white guy.
And you also got
This
to
was
you got to
go
get
ahead, you got it.
you got to get a capable attorney, bro, because that defense attorney was incompetent. You got to get he should have had better representation, because you see how fast the defense ran through their witnesses. They didn't even have 10 witnesses, bro. I mean, come on, that is incompetent. You telling me you can't get that? You can't do you can't talk and defend not only the
And they pay his lawyer. They pay his lawyer more than he paid his lawyer.
and that's the crazy part, man. You defending your client is not just bringing witnesses. You're supposed to speak to the jury and humanize him. Convince the jury that your client is a victim, and they didn't do that.
And
Bro.
but bro, we repicking. I ain't even no lawyer. I know once we do the whole jury and it's all white people, we repicking. Sidebar judge, this ain't happening. Y'all not about to lynch my client. I don't care what y'all got to do, but y'all not about to have 12 racist white people that love this white boy that died, just calling my client my people's fake. You're not about to do that. It would have never made it past the jury selection. And I would have went public with it. If they said no, I'd have said the judge said we can't. And they got all 12 on the news. That'd have been me as a lawyer. On the news, they got all Caucasian juries. I feel we being set up. So we already filing for our appeal. I'll start saying shit like that on the news before the trial even start. If the judge denied me a repick of the jury. Fuck that. And if you the lawyer, you get like 5 picks. So that means you actually didn't pick no black people and you my attorney. Ah man, retrial. Y'all got me fucked up. My bad for cursing. But yeah, y'all got me messed up.
He didn't have no pushback for the jury though, bro. He should have had pushback, and he should have used every pick that he had until he was satisfied with the damn jury. But he didn't do that. He let them choose that jury with all white people and didn't have no pushback for that all white jury. That sounds like a setup to me, man.
Sure, they probably gave him 100,000, man. The state probably gave him.
I knew the fix was in, bro. I knew the fix was in when they said all white jury. I said, there's no way in hell an all white jury going to acquit this young man. No way. No way. I knew the fix was in when they said all white jury. In Texas? In Stringham Up, Texas? Hell no.
They basically did his trial in a saloon.
Exactly.
Damn.
He did his damn trial.
Emmett without the sex.
At the Ponderosa, bro. They did his trial at the Ponderosa, bro.
Spurs on their book, the whole thing. But yeah, man, I'm about to hop down, man. This game show a little love, man. But that is some ill stuff, man.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
The message itself is like, if I was black, I'm leaving that state if I had anything going on. My business will not be done here. I'm moving my company. I'm doing everything because they letting you know, man, we ain't fucking with y'all like that. That's all that was saying to me.
Yeah, sending a strong message too, bro. That do what we tell you to do. You can't defend yourself. There's no way you don't have self-defense in your favor. That's what they're telling us. No matter what happens, when it comes to self-defense and standing your ground, that only applies to certain people.
I got 3 questions. What color was the judge?
White.
What color was his lawyer?
White.
So he was the only nigga in the courtroom.
The brother that was defending him earlier, that for some frozen of a goddamn reason, they got rid of him.
They still would have been the only 2 niggas in the whole courtroom. That's unfair, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You surrounded by all the man, that's crazy.
It's a lynch mob, bro.
Big facts.
It's a lynch mob. That's what that is.
And they got away with it under their laws, the state laws. They can get away with bullshit, man. He shouldn't have brought a knife. He should have brought a knife because your big fucking bully ass son, rest in peace, but he fucking with my son. I told my son, hey, put that gun down. Just take you a little pocket knife. You don't gotta just keep a nigga off. Cause for real in the hood, if niggas was fucking with my kids, he coming home from school, niggas trying, mama give him a whole pistol. Hey bro, only pull this out if they fuck with you, dog. But I want you to come make it home from school, bro.
Yeah, that's
so. But that's why I teach my kids not to fuck with people and leave people the fuck alone. So you don't gotta even deal with that. With my kids, they're adults now.
You teach them to avoid trouble and avoid conflict. You know what I'm saying? You don't teach them to be no pusher. You just teach them to avoid conflict. Avoid
yourself.
And sometimes you can't avoid conflict. Sometimes you can't. If somebody got it in their mind is made up that they're gonna do harm to you, that's when you gotta do what you gotta do. But you teach them try to avoid conflict. And
I just wish he had pieced the white boy up. They don't got no hands. All they had to do was step back and let a 7-piece off. And they would have broke it up anyway. He might have got slammed down, but he wouldn't be doing 35 years. He shouldn't have stabbed that white boy, dude.
I heard the boys do jujitsu. I heard the boys study jujitsu. As big as they are.
Cool, but they're gonna break it up. If I'd have known, if he was white, he wouldn't be in jail. It wouldn't even make the note.
Let me tell you, bro.
It'd have been swept up. Go ahead.
I'm about the same size as those dudes, but probably a little bigger. Somebody Carmelo Anthony's size, I don't even have
my size.
I don't have to head.
Yeah, he my size.
I don't have to headhunt nobody that size, bro. I can hit him anywhere and hurt him. So that's what it would have been.
Just push him down.
You can Austin Metcalf could have hit Carmelo Anthony anywhere and hurt him. You don't have to be headhunting. You can hit him anywhere when you have a size difference like that. And at 17 years old, how skilled of a fighter could that boy be? And look at the weight difference and the height difference. So that boy was in a dangerous situation. He was in a dangerous.
He was scared, right? He was scared. He had to get him up off of him. Yeah, for sure.
There's 2 of them too. He was in a dangerous situation. A combined weight of like 500 pounds. 2 of them.
I wish I could see some type of video with that shit, and I'd get it perfect. I know exactly, but I never saw no footage or nothing, dog.
They didn't show it to nobody besides the people in the courtroom. And the judge, he banned everybody. He just violated everybody's rights. The judge shouldn't be allowed to say there's no cameras allowed, no media, no cell phones. The judge should not be allowed to say that because, for one, he's a public servant, and we, in our tax dollars, pay for everything that happened in there.
Yeah, that's what is it? The Fifth Amendment? One of them amendments, Fourth Amendment.
Straight up took the rights of the people away by not allowing people to go in. No live streaming. He said no live streaming, none of that, and that's not right. For us to find out after the fact, we could we probably can see it because after the court is public information. It should be public information all the time because we pay for that. Our tax dollars pay for all of that. We pay state, we pay local, state, and federal. That means that your taxpayers all the way in Ohio pay for what's going on over there too, bro. So they can't tell you don't have a right to see it.
So basically, we their boss.
Exactly. If we were to just assert our power, we don't assert our power. Some of us will say we'll side with them when the power is supposed to be with everybody. We're supposed to be with the people, not them. We make them think they're the power by not asserting ours.
Yeah, shout out to George Washington. That's what George Washington was on. When he saw him trying to take all the power from the people. That's when he started saying, "We the people, for the people, by the people, goddamn it." And they put George Washington over and slandered his name and everything. That white boy knew this thing was coming.
Yeah, bro. It just the people just don't assert their power, and then they do these type of things to cause the division to make sure that we don't assert our power as the people. The government know what they're doing, bro. They'll try to keep all the people divided because they know what they're doing. Unity is the worst thing that can happen to a tyrannical government. It's the worst thing that can happen to them. One about to land this plane drop. Indeed, DL1, we need to see that tape. We need to see that footage. I want to thank everybody for joining this evening. As a matter of fact, let me listen to this on out. To Lucas on out.
What happened to the defense? Who chose this defense? Was it a financial situation? Like, what happened here? You've got to give me some answers because the case was theirs to lose. It really was for the defense to lose. And as we saw, their incompetence, during the trial, and then became the prosecution's to lose. So it's a travesty. This is truly a travesty. Anyways, guys, that's the video. I don't care what y'all have to say, bro. I don't really care because I know the races are going to be, they're going to be racist what they're going to be. And, I can't explain this, bro. I really can't explain this. The facts and the evidence were on Karmelo's side. He just had an incompetent, defense who couldn't relay it, compellingly to a jury. And then the prosecution just ate that up, bro.
Was it his first case? Because that type of incompetence is just something that should get you disbarred. I mean, that was terrible.
Ate that up beyond reasonable doubt. And you have to understand, in Texas, dealing with racists, it's not beyond reasonable doubt. You have to show no doubt, right? You have to show no doubt. You have a little black boy who took a white boy's life. You need no doubt that this was self-defense. So,
and that's how you have to present it, that there was no doubt that it was self-defense. And it's all about, even though it's the truth that it was self-defense, it has to be driven home and presented and driven home as self-defense. If all you do is that, if you give a weak argument, even if your weak argument is the truth, a strong lie gonna beat that weak ass truth all the time.
We'll see, but I genuinely think he may be getting a murder charge. Anyways, if you happen to disagree, you know where to find me. Friday and Saturday, disagreement day. There'll be a number on screen. You call in, we duke it out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think.
Yes, I want to thank everyone for joining me this evening. I appreciate it. My brother P. Moses, D. Allen Warren, Big Dog Philly OG, Maybach, Sir Drop. I appreciate you all joining me this evening. Hope this information was pertinent to you. Who else we got here? Yeah, P. Moses, D. Allen Warren, Sir Drop, Big Dog Philly OG, Maybach. Thanks to all the comrades for joining me this evening. Thank the whites for joining me this evening. And I leave you as I came before you. In the greeting words of peace. This is the Enemy's Public. I am Bro.Nasir. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Peace.
Production. Giving out instruction. I just keep it intact, this is a fact, right and exact, I won't step back. Admiration is the feeling that inspires your brain to make you gain self-knowledge, not go insane.